Interesting facts about famous people.
Aussie Oaters, meat pie westerns. Hi y'all, or as we say in Australia, Gidday. We down under love a good Wild West western, just as much as y'all, in the dusty west of the U.S. of A. Here are some Oaters, avoiding the term western here, for you dyed-in-the-wool traditionalists, from the sunburned country. Meat pie or kangaroo westerns, as the terms go, a subgenre of true westerns. Aussie actors are no stranger to American westerns, with the likes of Erroll Flynn, Guy Pearce, Russell Crowe, Nicole Kidman, Mel Gibson, and more have crossed the equator to play in your westerns. Likewise, American actors like Dennis Hopper, Kirk Douglas, Brian Dennehy, Tom Selleck, amongst others, have trekked down under to make westerns, or Oaters. So throw a shrimp, a prawn as we call it, on the barbie and take a look at what's cooking. This isn't a complete list. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel as well. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. The Overlanders, 1946. Director, Harry Watt. It's the start of World War II in Northern Australia. The Japanese are getting close. People are evacuating and burning everything in a scorched earth policy, rather than kill all their cattle. A disparate group decides to drive them overland, halfway across the continent. Chips Rafferty starred alongside Jack Lemmon, playing the island watcher Patterson in The Wackiest Ship in the Army, 1960. Stars Chips Rafferty, John Nugent Hayward, Daphne Campbell, Jean Blue.
Australia's northern territory is an endless deserted waste with unexpected patches of beauty. And across those scorching plainlands, Dan drove his great herd of cattle the distance from London to Moscow. Can you wonder that tempers grew short?
We think this trip's crazy anyway. You're likely to lose the whole lot, worse than all, so we're getting out.
Yes, they met every kind of trouble, from cattle getting bogged in swampy ground to the drovers. A story of man's determination to achieve the impossible, with two new stars that give you a picture of the real Australia. Chips Rafferty as Dan, and Australia's outdoor girl, delightful Daphne Campbell as Liz.
Inn of the Damned, 1975. Director, Terry Burke. At an isolated inn, elderly owners, Carolyn and Lazar Straw, are killing off anyone who stays with them. Meanwhile, in the same area, a murderer is on the run from the law. At the vanguard of his pursuers is a bounty hunter, Kincaid, a highly resourceful man. It is inevitable that he and the Straughs will cross paths. The house and the area around the homestead seen in this movie are now underwater due to the construction of a dam. This is the only theatrically released Australian feature film starring expatriate Australian Dame Judith Anderson. She was born in Adelaide, South Australia, and mostly worked on the stage and in American films. Stars Judith Anderson, Alex Cord, Michael Craig, Joseph First.
Book of rules at his own expense. Michael Craig, the farmer,
Blow your damn head off!
who knew the area and the people only too well. John Mellion and Robert Quilter. What answers do they hold? Struggle to ward off intruders.
Mad Dog Morgan, 1976. Director, Philippe Mora. Australia in the 1850s. There is a gold rush going on, and Morgan wants to strike it rich. As fate would have it, Morgan soon finds himself on the other side of the law, broke and desperate. A single act of highway robbery gets him 12 years of hard labour. While in prison, he is abused. Upon release, Morgan vows revenge on those who wronged him. With the help of an Aborigine named Billy, Morgan soon becomes a hero. The locals love him. The wealthy and powerful fear his influence. They want this outlaw, dead or alive. Morgan only wants those to pay for the crimes they have committed. He wasn't always a bushranger. He was made into one. It wasn't only his mind that made him bad. Society turned him into Mad Dog Morgan. Stars Dennis Hopper, Jack Thompson, David Gulpilil, Frank
The
Thring.
police across the river border are totally and completely incompetent. We will not tolerate anarchy in our colony.
Everyone is talking about it. You won't last 24 hours. Victoria.
As senior officer here, I assume command of this situation.
I'll get the best.
His name with £1,000 reward and blood on his hands.
This is Morgan Country, where it happened.
Raw Deal, 1977. Director Russell Hagg. In the 1870s, the colonial administrator hires bounty hunter Palmer and gun salesman Ben to wipe out an army of Irish Catholic revolutionaries in their stronghold. Palmer and Ben recruit 3 gunmen to help them, and their mission is successful. But when they go to get their payment, they are trapped by treacherous officials. Ben and Palmer must fight their way to safety. Cast members Gus Mercurio and Gerard Kennedy had been famous for co-starring together in 2 Australian television series, Tandara, 1976, and Cash and Company, 1975. This resulted in their teaming again in this feature film called Raw Deal, 1977. Stars Gerard Kennedy, Gus Mercurio, Rod Mulliner, Christopher Pate.
You know, I could use a drink.
Funny you should say that.
The Chant of Jimmy Blacksmith, 1978. Director Fred Skepsey. The true story of a part Aboriginal man who finds the pressure of adapting to white culture intolerable, and as a result snaps in a violent and horrific manner. After suffering racist abuse throughout his life, which intensifies through his marriage to a white woman, a half-Aboriginal farmhand finds himself driven to murder. Stars Tommy Lewis, Freddie Reynolds, Angela Punch McGregor, Ray Barrett.
Trust your nigger to turn my property into a black scab.
Very white girl. Bad totem.
You owe me, Mr. Newby, for 900 yards.
Listen to me. Don't you come the bush loyal with me.
The Man from Snowy River, 1982. Director George Miller. Jim Craig has lived his first 18 years in the mountains of Australia on his father's farm. The death of his father forces him to go to the lowlands to earn enough money to get the farm back on its feet. Kirk Douglas plays 2 roles as twin brothers who haven't spoken for years, one of whom was Jim's father's best friend, and the other of whom is the father of the girl he wants to marry. A 20-year-old feud re-erupts, catching Jim and Jessica in the middle of it, as Jim is accused of letting a prize stallion loose. Stars Kirk Douglas, Tom Burlinson, Terence Donovan, Tommy Dysart, Jack Thompson. Was so popular it was followed up with Return to Snowy River, 1988, Snowy River, The McGregor Saga, 1994 to 1996, The Man from Snowy River, Arena Spectacular, 2003 TV movie. Robbery Underarms, 1957. Director Jack Lee. The fictional tale of the exploits of a renegade English nobleman known as Captain Starlight on the Australian goldfields in the 1880s. Filmed 6 times, with the first sound and colour version made by Jack Lee in 1957. Lee's film took the novel's complex plot and turned it into the story of 2 brothers, Starlight's sons, who are drawn into a life of crime when they join their father's gang. The mainly British cast, headlined by Peter Finch as Starlight, speaks to the time when Australia had no film industry, the cinematography by Harry Waxman, whose film credits include The Wicker Man, 1973, looks crisp and imparts a real sense of the isolation of early white settlers' life. The film also tackles what would become a key feature of many Australian westerns, the vital role of Indigenous people as trackers, both the bushrangers and the authorities. Remade in the 80s with Sam Neill, Robbery Underarms, 1985 TV movie. Quigley Down Under, 1990. Director, Simon Windsor. Sharpshooter Matt Quigley is hired from America by an Australian rancher so he can shoot Aborigines at a distance. Quigley takes exception to this and leaves. The rancher tries to kill him for refusing. Quigley escapes into the brush with a woman he rescued from some of the rancher's men and are helped by Aborigines. Quigley returns the favour before going on to destroy all his enemies. Tom Selleck said his scariest moment ever as an actor occurred while standing on a boulder near Alice Springs, Australia, over a cliff. I had to look down, and it was a big boulder, so they say. Just go stand on the boulder, you'll be fine. But the boulder started rattling back and forth. And I said, maybe you better tie me off. Stars Tom Selleck, Laura San Giacomo, Alan Rickman, Chris Haywood.
This ain't Dodge City. And you ain't Bill Hickok.
The Tracker, 2002. Director, Rolf de Heer. Fanatic is a government trooper who is heading an expedition to find an Aboriginal man accused of murdering a white woman. Others in the expedition are the follower, a greenhorn trooper, the veteran, and the tracker. The shoot took place in the heart of the South Australian outback at Arkaroola, a private wildlife sanctuary in the wild semi-desert country, located in the northern part of the Flinders Ranges, about 130 kilometres east of Lee Creek, a country town also located in South Australia's Flinders Ranges. Stars David Gulpilil,
Sure, boss.
Gary Sweet, Damon Gameau,
Maybe there.
Grant Page.
Maybe down there, boss.
Why would he go to
Ned Kelly, 2003. Director, Gregor Jordan. Ned Kelly cannot escape the stigma of being the eldest of a brood sired by a known criminal. In days when an arrest equalled guilt and a conviction, his unfair imprisonment for horse thievery puts him steadfast in the eyes of Victorian police, on the wrong side of things for life, with a sister unable to dissuade the unwanted advances of Constable Fitzpatrick. Ned, his brother Dan, and friends Joe Byrne and Steve Hart soon find themselves labelled an outlaw gang by the less than honourable constable. It's a designation they're apt to live up to after Ned's mother is unfairly arrested and sentenced to 3 years hard labour. In retaliation, the Kelly gang strikes out against the Victorian government, with ultimately tragic results and entry into Australian folklore. Stars Heath Ledger, Orlando Bloom, Geoffrey Rush, Naomi Watts. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.